Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the A.Lange Sohne Lange 1 Daymatic. You can see this automatic winding Day-Date Lange 1 on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, this one, if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. Yep, that card up there at any time during the video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing information for this Lange 1 Daymatic. Now, the watch that you're looking at on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, is 1 millimeter larger than the traditional Lange 1, which is to say it's a 39.5 millimeter case, exceptionally slim considering the more than 400 parts and 67 jewels inside. The watch is only 10.5 millimeters thick, and you'll note a generously domed bezel, so a tight cover sleeve can easily ramp up and slide over this one. From lug to lug, 48.5 millimeters. I would say, though my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference, you could wear this one on a wrist down to as small as 14 centimeters in circumference with a good sense of proportion and security, and here's why. The beautifully tapered lugs curve rather dramatically as they exit the case flank, meaning that even if there's a little bit of lug overhang at the edge of your wrist with this watch, it appears to drape itself over the wrist rather than standing out stridently at the edges. It sort of fades away at the edges of your forearm for an excellent and proportional appearance. It has a high-grade dark brown rectangular scale alligator leather strap with monotone stitch and folded edges. There's a supple calfskin inlay on the bottom, and you can see the distinctive Lange pin buckle, distinctive both for its form and its function, as that internal retaining bar prevents the watch from getting pinned and stuck on smaller wrists when it's buckled down to one of its smaller perforations on the strap. So if you've had that trouble trying to buckle a watch onto a smaller wrist and then finding it's resolutely stuck, that's what that retaining bar seeks to avoid, and it works beautifully. It also speaks to the attention to detail that Lange lavishes on every square millimeter of this watch. Take a look at the junction of the case back and the bezel along the flank of the case and the character lines longitudinally that adds. Look at the curve and the sensuous arc of the domed bezel. Look at the transitional bevel that folds the tops of the lugs into the flanks, and the small step between the case and the lugs that adds definition and masculine presence to the watch. Rather than a sensuous, smooth compound arc, it has a sharp break with the case flank. Like I said, attention to detail is paramount, right down to the arc of the pusher corrector. For the panoramic date, it feels like a high-grade chronograph when you push it, but you'll note its curvature matches that of the case. Details count. Now, what you'll also notice is that there is a pusher corrector on the flank of the case, and I will use my handy-dandy toothpick. Pro tip, guys, when you don't have the factory pusher adjuster tool handy, use a toothpick because it will never mar precious metal. And you can see precisely how the retrograde date functions. Actually, that's the retrograde day, my correction. So you have the day and you have the date. A subtle alteration to the epic Lange 1, an iconic watch since its debut in 1994. Just a small change, but it adds to what might be the most practical of all complications, a calendar. And with the day and the date, you can reference this watch on a daily basis. You won't get to use a minute repeater, a split-second chronograph, a perpetual calendar even, of necessity every single day. But a day-date, you can use it drafting written or email correspondence. Tremendously useful. The rest of the dial is a handsome matte finish. You can see the gorgeous applied rose gold Roman numerals and dart style indices with the alpha hands of the hours and minutes, as well as a countersunk small seconds. There's a little bit of calculated asymmetry to this dial that is so redolent of Lange DNA and the design of every Lange 1 since that original in 1994. Not only is it iconic, but thanks to the caliber L021.1, it's also remarkably refined and nuanced compared to a standard Lange 1. This movement was created specifically for the late 2009 debut of the Daymatic model that you see here, and you can see it is a world removed from the standard manual wind dual-barrel Lange 1, as well as the micro-rotor Saxomat caliber. So let's take a look at that rotor first, because it's one of the most intriguing parts of the movement. You've got 21 karat gold comprising the rotor itself, which has been engraved and hammered with an elaborate A Lange Sohne script. And then outboard of that, you've got Platinum 950. Lange is one of the precious few brands that uses platinum on the outer edge of its winding mass to ensure the largest possible moment of inertia to compel the winding of the watch efficiently. And believe me, it does wind efficiently, as this one simply runs away at the slightest tilt. Moreover, it has a robust 50-hour power reserve when fully energized, and you'll note the black polished cap atop the rotor at center. Details matter. Hand-engraved balance cock with a black polished swan's neck regulator. It beats away at a stately 21,600 vibrations per hour, and for precise setting, yes, you can pull the crown and hack the balance. And you'll note that fixed by the swan's neck and modified in terms of regulation by variable inertia balance blocks, it is effectively a free-sprung balance. You'll note black polish on the cap of the escape wheel, as well as blued screws. The watch has both polished screws and blued. Blued screws are assembly screws for the movement. Polished screws are adjustment screws for adjusting the movement. You'll note German silver across the bridges with its gorgeous golden tones, giving the watch a second golden tone next to the winding mass. There's actually an array of colors here: the violets of the pivot jewels, the beautiful cobalt blue of the blued screws, the silver flash of the polished screws, the platinum winding mass, and of course you've got those two golds with different shimmering refractive and reflective qualities. Absolutely stunning. Moreover, and we're not even done here, there's an absolute festival of tight and even perlage around the circumference of the movement. In terms of glossuta finish, it doesn't get any more Baroque than this, short of six figures. This is a memorable movement for a spectacular watch. You can see and you can purchase this Lange 1 Daymatic on our website.